Brandon, good evening from Aiken. Tell the fine folks on I-20 to make way. The boys from Bennettsville are heading home with the 3A crown, the first time in 20 years. Now, head coach LaTroy Brace got to Bennettsville in Marlboro County 4 years ago when this team was only freshmen. They got better year after year, this year game after game. But during the regular season, looked like that season may get halted with COVID. They missed some time, about a month, then got back for the region tournament, but no stopping the Bulldogs today, winning the first state title since 2001.
That was very big. That was a very big part of the game because we didn't let them chop into the lead. Once they scored, we scored right back. So that was very big.
It means a lot, man. It means a lot. It's a lot for us and the community and myself to make sure for a milestone that huge. That means a lot.
It's a big accomplishment, man. I mean, it's like, I know the city proud of us, our coach is proud of us. It's just a really big accomplishment for us in the whole county.
Bennettsville wanted to throw a parade for the Bulldogs after they won the lower state, but Coach Brace said, hold on, slow the brakes. There's only one more game to go. Well, guess what? They won it today. There's a party going on in Bennettsville that'll probably last throughout the weekend. Reporting in Aiken, Dan Fanning, ABC 15 Sports.
I want to say it's right around 366 feet or so, so I'm going to throw a forehand.
Same goal, different technique. Disc golf has become a popular alternative across the country. The Myrtle Beach Disc Golf Club started out with 15 to 20 members a few years ago. Now,
we've seen it grow to about 137 paid members as of this month.
As a great way to social distance, 25 new members have joined during the pandemic.
We've got a couple guys and girls in the club that literally just grabbed a disc to jump out and play because they didn't have anything else to do.
Instead of a hole, a basket. Instead of a club, a disc or frisbee.
There's so many parallels to it, it's a very easy stepping stone to go from one to the next.
As the sport of disc golf does continue to grow, more courses are needed here in the golf capital of the world.
We've got a new 18-hole course that's in the pipeline. Hopefully that's coming out by the fall, mid-fall, late summer, early fall.
That course will be near the Market Common. A new love of disc golf is now par for the course on the Grand Strand. In Socastee, Dan Fanning, ABC 15 News. It's been quite the journey to get to this point for head coach T.J. Joy and his Bobcats. Joy's final game in his final season in charge at the Carolina Academy, one that got off to an inauspicious start.
It's been a tough year. We went almost a month without playing, and just their resilience, just them staying in it.
After a COVID scare amongst the team, the Bobcats put a scare on their opponents. 8 wins so far and a berth in Saturday's championship game.
Well, I grew up by half the team, so we've been looking at this since we were little boys. We know you're going to be here. There's a lot of hype this week, and we're going to bring it home.
Standing in brown in the Bobcats' way, Hilton Head Christian at 11-0 and coming off a defeat in last year's title game to Trinity Collegiate.
They do well throwing and running. We got to keep the time of possession. We got to keep the ball.
The Eagles have soared all season. They haven't let off in the playoffs, scoring 63 in both their first 2 contests. As the newly elected sheriff of Florence County, Joy will look to crack down on their offensive weapons.
I just tell them you can't weigh a man's heart. You got to play, your heart, and give it all you got, passion, and just get after it. That's what we've got to do.
Carolina Academy isn't showing up empty-handed. They are loaded for bear in the backfield, led by Joy's son Matthew and the 1-2 running back punch of Wilder and Brown.
They're amazing, pretty good, real good, real fast, strong.
We're the ball in the trenches. 5 to 4 yards a carry, we good.
We got speed. We got something we haven't had in the years past, but our speed helps us a lot to get to the outside.
Controlling the trenches and the clock and keeping HHC's O off the field will be some of the keys to victory. 2020 hasn't been perfect, but the Bobcats' vision is to send Coach out on top one last time.
Coach TJ like a second dad for us, so we're going to do it for him.
It'd be amazing.
Joy is hoping to feel some joy Saturday after the 48 minutes are over, but says his team are champions either way. The Bobcats and Eagles kick off at high noon at Charleston Southern. Reporting for the End Zone, Dan Fanning, ABC 15 Sports. Sports Illustrated reports that 35 states have introduced, passed, or are exploring NIL legislation. South Carolina is one of them.
The hope is that either Congress, which apparently has a few bills out there of their own, U.S. Congress, or the lawsuit being decided by a court will make a uniform rule for everybody.
Right now, the states are on their own. A bill co-sponsored by Horry County Representative Greg Hembry is trying to ensure the best student athletes come to the Palmetto State and not elsewhere.
We'll lose that student if we don't have the bill, because that student will know, well, I can go to Florida State, University of Florida, University of Georgia, University of Southern California, and I can make money off of my likeness.
Here's how the bill would work. An agent approved by the state or a business could pay a student athlete to be a sponsor or a spokesman, among other things.
This is not a bill for the colleges. This is a bill for the student athletes themselves. It's giving them the opportunity to be paid for their name, image, or likeness.
Horry County House Representative and chair of the Higher Education Subcommittee, Tim McGinnis, is in favor of the proposed bill.
I wish that there was a way that we could have one rule for all college athletes right off the bat and not have to come up with this on a state-by-state basis.
While student athletes are learning valuable life lessons on and off the playing fields, McGinnis says it's time to reward them.
I think students deserve, if money's being made on their image and likeness, I think they deserve some of that money.
Right now, South Carolina doesn't have a limit or a pay gap on how much a potential student athlete could earn from their NIL. In Myrtle Beach, Dan Fanning, ABC 15 News.
Nate Ginger looks out at what his hard work has built off Highway 707 and is thankful to still be open.
It's also huge for our employees. You know, Myrtle Beach is a huge recreation-based community.
The owner of the aptly named Black Ops Paintball got permission from the governor's office to remain in business.
The whole nature of the business does follow the guidelines. So we went ahead and submitted that and did receive an exemption.
While the physical safety is always the #1 priority in paintball, Black Ops is taking additional measures to ensure the health of their players.
Everything's sanitized, doorknobs, the iPads if people for some reason aren't able to sign the waivers online, the bathrooms, the sinks, the door handles, everything's being washed down at least every hour on the hour.
With paintball being a high energy and fast-paced sport, Ginger has to keep everything and everyone in perspective.
These are the people that don't have thousands of dollars saved up. So, you know, it's hitting all of us really hard.
The peak season for this small business may have a few valleys, but plans to be a relief during this hard time. In Socastee, Dan Fanning, ABC 15 News. Well, Casey, coming into tonight's game, South Carolina fans were hoping a USC win would put their Gamecocks back on the map. Needless to say, Georgia was not having any of it. The Dogs dominated both lines of scrimmage. They scored early and often in the third quarter, and they come out victorious tonight. Gamecock players saying a lack of focus and a lack of effort also costed them in the fourth quarter, but needless to say, the Dogs showing their might and also showing why they played for last year's national championship.
And they come out second half, and we just got whipped. I mean, we got moved off the line of scrimmage. We didn't tackle as well. We didn't get lined up a couple times. I mean, we just, you know, that's just something that's very frustrating and correctable, and we'll get it corrected. That's on me.
Executing, you know, obviously coming out and, you know, starting better. You know, we had the interception return for a touchdown. You know, it's not a good way to start, but just executing and limiting mistakes.
I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I just want those guys to understand, you know, it's a long game. It's always a long game. You know, we battled, we fought the first half. We made it to where it was manageable. And then you just, you know, you got to keep that same energy throughout the whole game.
With the loss, South Carolina drops to 0-1 in SEC play, but as players reminded us, there's still 10 games to play, still plenty to play for this season. We'll have to see if there's a game next week due to Hurricane Florence, but if there is, they will face Marshall next Saturday night at 7:30. Reporting from Williams-Brice Stadium, Dan Fanning, ABC 15 News.